Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to National Matters. I know some of you are wondering why National Matters on Tuesday when it comes on Monday. We are taking it this evening because I have special friends and speakers in the studio also to help us to enlighten what is coming on Thursday. And so today, tonight, tomorrow, we'll have special guests. On my immediate left, I have Mr. Hambai. Mr. Hambai, please introduce yourself. And I have the second guest. I'll introduce him later.
Thanks very much and welcome viewers. My name is Victor Himbai. I'm a horticulture specialist in Zambia.
When you say horticultural specialist, you just deal in...
Yeah, so horticulture is a very broad subsector. We are talking about the vegetable production, the fruit production, and the flower production. Those are the cultures which fall under horticulture.
Wonderful. And next to him, I have Dr. Musharika, who is also another expert. And let me say that Zambia, you are blessed to have people like the ones I have in the studio. Dr. Musharika, please introduce yourself to...
Thank you so much, Pastor, and good evening, Zambia. As he has said, my name is Joseph Musharika. Mm-hmm. I know you're going to ask me what is your specialization. I am an anti-poverty specialist.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm an anti-poverty specialist.
Anti-poverty specialist.
Yes. I do everything just to help someone out there realize that poverty is not a blessing. It's a curse. And there is every power in every person to get out of it. Yes.
Now, tell me something, Dr. Musharika.
Yes, sir.
I always say that poverty is in the mind. Mm-hmm. When you think you are poor, when you think you are this, you remain just as you are.
Exactly.
Am I right or just...
You are extremely right because particularly for people of Christian persuasion, whom I believe the majority in this country are, you will actually realize that by creation, we are created with a reason. And the reason is very simple. You know, you are a pastor. We are not created to go to heaven. You know, when you get back to your Bible, you will discover that, wow, God spoke everything into existence. And when I talk about everything, I'm talking about resources. Water, land, sunlight, moon, stars, fish, animals. Only human beings were not spoken. They were made. And they were the only creatures that were made with a reason given. And the reason was very simple. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. For what reason? Let them have dominion. Dominion over fish, dominion over birds, dominion over every creeping creature. So by creation, by design, man is created to dominate. And to dominate what? To dominate business, to dominate the economy, to manage creation. So when you say poverty is in the mind, very true. And perhaps one of the things we'll be discussing in the 2-day conference is to realize that the starting point of loss of dominion is loss of self-esteem. The moment you believe you are not educated enough, you are too black, or you are too female, you are too male, or you are an orphan, or you are widowed, at that moment,
you have lost it.
You have lost it.
Oh, Jehovah. Ms. Hambai, I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Is Zambia to be where we are economically? Do we have any reason to be where we are economically?
So the answer is absolutely no. Zambia is a very rich company in the first place. Zambia has 127 billion cubic meters of water. 127 billion cubic meters of water.
Billion.
So that water, if it can be used to grow crops in the world of assorted crops. We are able to feed this country, Zambia, Africa, and part of Europe. So we don't have a reason for being poor because we have got enough natural resources to sustain us to be a good country in terms of wealth creation.
So why are we poor?
So I think one of the reasons why we are poor as a country is because we have not given the priority to the agriculture sector in a way that should have been given the priority. I've talked about agriculture sector, but meanwhile agriculture has got a number of subsectors in it. We have neglected certain subsectors which should have improved the economy of this country. For example, in Zambia, when you talk about agriculture, you're looking at maize crop. You're talking about maybe livestock, sweet potatoes, and cassava. Meanwhile, this country is rich because the environment and the microenvironment for crop production for diversity kind of crops is very good. We have neglected the horticulture. We have neglected other sectors which should have actually been integrated into agriculture and then improve the livelihood of our people.
Doctor, I want us to look at this. I was reading an article this morning on the health of any economy, how you can tell that this economy is sound. And top on the agenda, they put the rising employment numbers. So they put employment. When the nation is employing people, then you know that the economy is healthy. Now, as a pastor, sorry, you are economists, you are in that sector. But for me now, as a pastor, I want to differ with this. Because when you tailor people's minds and you fashion them to get a job, you are imprisoning them. You are shutting their creativity. Any nation like Zambia, I am praying that Zambia should not make jobs as the number one priority, but that we should empower the people of Zambia, especially through agriculture. If each one of us in Zambia, we have 1 hectare to just work on our own, I believe that we can be the first world. I don't know whether my assumptions are correct.
Pastor, in fact, yours should not even be said to be an assumption. It should be said to be a fact. I mean, I'll get back to your field and go back to the question you asked Victor in terms of, is Zambia correctly positioned economically? And I want to state that Victor is my very good colleague. To me, the answers he gave are correct, but they are symptoms of the reality. What has created poverty is not that we have not paid attention to this and this and this, but we have lost it on the fundamentals. And I'll mix that with what you have correctly put. To me, the more job seekers you have, the more you have clear minds that you have people that are not ready for development. The lesser the number of job seekers, the more you as a nation are headed for development. Because employment, sorry, I'll say it, employment, for lack of a better term, is decent slavery.
Will you repeat that?
Employment is decent slavery. Because tell me, Pastor, I mean, where is the respect in getting paid once a month? You know, I mean, think of a person who looks after someone's chickens. Someone keeps chickens which lay eggs, and this person sells eggs every day and gets money every day. And yet the person who feeds the chickens, who vaccinates the chickens, has to be paid once a month. And probably the salary is less than what the person makes in a day. Now, if you think that is decent, I beg to differ. So getting back to that critical question, why is Zambia in this state? And perhaps the starting point should be, let us understand who we are as a country.
That's right.
In terms of the resource base. Because for a very long time, I think starting with Dr. Kaunda Zambia has always used a very powerful word, potential. We have potential to feed Zambia. We have potential to feed Africa. And perhaps one of our challenges is to misuse words. You know, Pastor Chiruba, what does potential mean? Potential means unused capability. Unused capability. Stored energy, you know. I have my own terminologies, you know, being an author. I always tell people, when someone tells you you have potential, all they are telling you is you are currently useless, but you can be useful.
Now, I don't know who you are getting at, but I'll go with your definition.
Potential means you are currently useless, but you can be useful. But if I have a big piece of land and there's a river passing in my land, Dr. Kachaka will come to me and tell me, you have potential to be a powerful fish farmer. But do I have fish?
No, you don't.
No matter how long I keep that river and that land, as long as I don't do what it takes to have fish, I will remain poor amidst plenty. So I have potential. At that stage, I am currently useless, but I can be useful.
Oh, Jehovah.
So we get back to that critical question. In my opinion, and I think my opinion is right, Zambia has not always been poor. We became poor. You know, the same way the Bible puts it, Proverbs 10 verse 4, he who dealeth with a slack hand becometh poor. So poverty is a process of becoming. You are not born poor. You are not born rich. You become. Okay? So Zambia became poor. And so the question we should be asking is, how and when did we become poor? Because by creation, let's look at Zambia by creation. Beautiful land. We call it arable land. You know those beautiful words. Arable land, meaning we can grow anything. Look at Zambia. 40% of fresh water. He mentioned it in billions of cubic meters. In SADC, we are a country where every tribe has a river, big or small. Look at our forestry. We have every tree that attracts the world. The famous mukulas, the famous mulangas, the mukwas, the softwoods are in this country. Look at our climate. Super predictable. We know when it is winter. We know when it is summer. Look at our peace. We are a people that live together.
73 tribes.
73 tribes.
Without confusion.
Look at the countries around us. 8 of them. The majority needing what we can produce. And yet we are poor. So the question is, when did this poverty come and how did it come? It will go back to the article you were reading this morning. You will notice that before we received visitors in form of missionaries and settlers, our ancestors could make hoys. They were called Iron Age people. They could make bows and arrows for hunting. They made copper crosses using our copper. They made yokes for harnessing oxen. And then we were introduced to a school system. We were introduced to a school system whose purpose was to create employees. And that is why I agree with you. Because if you look at traditional Zambian education, it was about skills. That is like God's system. God never takes people to school to make them remember. He takes them to school to make them think. Okay? So when he created Adam and Eve, where did he place them? He placed them in a school called Eden. And what was that school about? It was about utilization of all the faculties and utilization of muscle to cultivate that garden, which was a very rich home. But we accepted a school system whose purpose was to make us employable by those who would invest. So we went to school to remember. We went to school to learn a foreign language. And we spent 16 years on a desk doing nothing. And when we got out of school, we were ready to sit on a desk to count other people's money. So we were meant to sit on a desk to write reports for those who were productive. We were meant to sit on a desk to help monitor what the investor was doing. And we called it a job. So, primary reason for our poverty is that when you have an education system that does not bring out your potential to make sense of your environment, you have an education system that makes you useful in the hands of someone who thinks, then you are headed for a disaster.
You know what you are saying, Doctor? I have my cousin. He left the record at CBU. Just is professionally, he's a metallurgist, University of Zambia, one of the best students in the 70s. And his wife was lecturing. She was a lecturer teaching law at the Copperbelt University, Mr. and Mrs. Chulu. Now, because the wife was there, when he quit the mines, he was doing part-time MBS student. The records are there. He was the first student to bring out distinctions at that university as a part-time student. The man has got such wonderful brains that the wife, she's a lawyer. He wrote one paper for IMF, which the wife said, your brother has been talked into so that they get that paper. But they can't, because what he has brought there will be for generations. A Zambian. Now he goes to University of Zambia, to UK. And is overseeing 350 whites under him. But here at Nkana, they didn't see the value. No. They didn't see, because he was a Zambian, he was being paid this much, and the expatriates that he was teaching the jobs were getting more. 10 times what he was getting. But the point is this, Mr. Ambai,
yes, sir.
He said, you know, Pastor Chiluba, I've discovered, like you are saying, that a white man worked on our brains to say for you to be better, you must go to school, become a doctor, become a this and that. But he says in England, a doctorate or the qualifications, they don't work.
Exactly.
They go for performance.
What you do.
Yes.
What you can produce.
What you can do.
If a grade 7 can produce more than a PhD holder, the PhD holder will report to a grade 7. So they encourage initiative. Correct. So at what point did we miss it, Mr. Ambai, here in Zambia and Africa? At what point did we miss it?
I think following with what the doctor has said here, I think the point where we missed it is when we took theoretical education to be more powerful than practicing of what we are doing. We did not see the resources that we have and exploit them to the point where they could realize, they could bring us the impact, the positive impact which would have created wealth for us. That is where we missed it. In terms of the agriculture sector, especially the horticulture, for which I will speak about biasly, I would say the agriculture sector was doing very well in the Kaunda days. It went on throughout, but at a certain point, I think there was some kind of biasness which went into agriculture sector, where only two items were looked at: livestock and maize production. We did not look at what are the cash crops which can be brought on board, which we create wealth through export, so that we can balance up and bring equilibrium to our economy. All those I think that we should have looked at. Let's talk about the horticulture, for example. Most of the horticulture products in this country were coming all the way from South Africa, and that trend has continued to happen. I've been practicing horticulture for the past 18 years. What I've discovered is that when you go to Soweto market right now, you find 30-ton trucks bringing onion to Zambia. Said, what is this? Zambia receiving onion as a produce that has been produced in South Africa. Who are we creating jobs for? The primary job creation is done for South Africans who are producing. We are just receiving a certain percentage of job creation here for the distributors of the commodity, which should have been produced in this country.
Mr. Mbai, are you saying that as a country we import onion?
Yes.
How?
Right now, the trucks are coming from South Africa bringing tons and tons of onion.
Is the government aware of that?
I'm sure they are aware. How did the product come into the country? It is 3 weeks ago, there was a very heated debate where trucks had come all the way from Tanzania bringing tomato at Soweto market. And there was a lot of talks. Not only that, Pastor, I think 2014, 2015, I was involved in a certain activities under a project that I was working for. We discovered that in a value chain analysis that we conducted just here in Zambia, Zambia was importing 7,000 metric tons of tomato puree from China, which is fed into the processing industry here in our country. And that produce that comes as a semi-processed tomato puree goes into the feedstock, and then the factories are running on that. Now imagine getting 7.5 metric tons of tomato puree from China, then you have local farmers who are producing tomato here. Their tomato sometimes goes to waste at Soweto market and other markets. So that kind of environment is what actually is destroying this horticulture subsector. If such things were not there, probably we should have had a way to go.
You know what? You are just giving me some ideas, and let me appeal to President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and who is the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Katambo, and also Food and Fisheries is in Kanduluo.
Professor Kanduluo.
Let me appeal to Your Excellency. This is an embarrassment for a nation to be importing tomato, to be importing onion. Yesterday, I came from, my granddaughter was getting married in Luapula, and we went for the wedding there. Now, I drove through Mufurira, Mukambo, Pedico, up to Luapula there. Doctor, I could not believe it. Yeah. The land which is idle on both sides. I said, my goodness, you mean this is Zambia? And what would it be if Zambia takes up 5,000 hectares of land deliberately to say we'll grow onions? Can Zambia import onions from 5,000 hectares?
No, they can't.
You know, as you go at Pamos, this Zanmone Hotel, when you go, those caves after the roadblock, do you see the amount of tomatoes which are...
Yes.
Katuba, all the way there, tomatoes. Why should a nation import tomato? Isn't that an embarrassment?
It is, yeah, for sure.
And what do members of parliament do? Are they also, can they pass a bill that certain things should not be brought in the country? Because as you said, the ones who are benefiting are farmers in South Africa.
Yes.
You know, and the transporters from South Africa.
From South Africa, yes.
Everything. We are losing out. Jehovah God. Dr. Mbai,
Pastor.
Importing tomato and onion?
Yeah. Yeah. So it goes back to the fundamentals I was trying to talk about. First of all, why is all this huge mass of land unpopulated? It is because anyone who goes to school must find space in town, including those who go to NRDC to do agriculture. They leave land, rush into town. Why? And you can't blame them. You know, I'm thinking and sympathizing with the honorable MPs and everyone else, the ministers. They are products of the same school system. And this is why what Cabinet TV is doing, to me, is actually a very good school system, which must de-school us. It must de-school us from the school system that made us memorize things, look for jobs, be comfortable with getting loans, drive cars on loan around. It's that dangerous system. But I was going to go to the next one, which is another cause of our poverty. Sorry to say, Pastor, but I'll say it. Religion.
Please go ahead.
Religion. 90+% of Zambians are church people. The question you should ask is, what are they taught in church? Okay. We are even among the luckiest people to be called a Christian nation. But the question is, do we really understand the basic tenets of being God's children? Unfortunately for us, I should say we received rebranded Christianity. Rebranded Christianity, because a thorough read of the Word of God will actually tell you that we are created to have dominion. You are going to read very nice promises for God's children. You shall be heads and not tails. Clearly, the Bible will tell you that the Lord will grant you abundant prosperity. The Lord will open the heavens and give you rains, which we receive. The Lord will bless the work of your hands. Now, you look at generally, regardless of church, the Zambian Christian, or should I say the African Christian, is so preoccupied with going to heaven, such that he becomes irrelevant on earth.
They are preoccupied
With getting to heaven. Meanwhile, Jesus Christ spoke and said, occupy till I come. What are we occupying? This earth.
You know, when you say religion,
Yeah.
and me sitting here as a pastor, I should bring balance. You see, there are religions like the Muslims.
Exactly.
The Muslims don't have this foolishness that especially us Pentecostals have developed of me prophesying, Dr. Ambai,
I see.
the Lord will take you to America. In the meantime, you don't even have a passport to begin with.
Exactly.
Yes.
So how will he, are you a ghost to
No.
be and you have no idea of anything.
Yeah.
And speaking money into people's pockets.
Exactly.
For how long can you live off that money? So I must say that I'm embarrassed to some extent because the church does not train people to use their hands.
That's the thing.
To use their hands. Look at the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, the things they do.
Yeah.
The Anglican Church,
Yes.
they own schools.
Yes.
They own farms. They are they are hands-on.
Hands up.
You know.
Yeah.
So when you say that, I agree with you and apologize at the same time on behalf of us pastors
Your
and
fellow
bishops
Yeah.
who have misled
Exactly.
and misguided the people. But I can tell you, like Moses, Jesus said, when they brought a lady and said, Moses told us to stone such. And you see, he also said you can put a divorce.
Yeah.
He said, from the beginning, it was not so.
It was not
Wasn't
so.
so.
It was because of the hardness of your heart that Moses told you, not God.
Yeah.
And so, from the beginning, Mr. Ambai,
Yeah.
God said, till the land.
Till the
Exactly.
land, yes.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
He didn't say prophesy.
No, no.
Adam was never told to prophesy. And Eve, he just said, till the land.
the land.
You are dust.
Yeah.
From dust you come. You came from, and to dust you
You
go back.
return, yes.
Until you return there, you shall eat from the sweat.
Of your face.
Yeah.
From the sweat.
Pastor, I'm so delighted that I was scared of using the word foolish teachings. But that's what they are. There's no other terminology. And I should say, it's not just the Pentecostals. Unfortunately, even the traditional churches have lost it. We have a cadre of church leaders who teach faithfulness in giving and never teach faithfulness in working. Okay. You have people who teach sow the seed without teaching that the seed you are sowing must come from somewhere.
They will teach you to sow the seed
Yeah.
of money
Exactly.
but not of onion.
You know, I was talking to Seventh-day Adventists. I was saying, look, you talk a lot about the Sabbath, and we agree with you. But colleagues, hear me. The commandment which you quote says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And to me, that is not a commandment. The commandment is the next statement. 6 days you shall labor. And do all your work. 6 days you shall labor. But here is an Adventist who is resting from Sunday to Friday and dresses up nicely to go to church on Saturday. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time? And then when someone is collecting offering, you behave as those who are not present. You know, this is the time when a principle should be applied. You shall not appear before me empty-handed, says God. You shall not appear before me empty-handed. And then he says in scripture, in all labor there is profit. So as you are laboring, from that profit, that's where your offering will come from.
And the Bible says, honor the Lord your God with the labor of your hands.
With the labor of your hands. But we have this huge challenge. And so when we talk about a conference where people are going to talk about where are we, what should we do, where should we start from, and bring people that have done it, it is actually a great opportunity for this nation to embrace and say, look, we are now at a time when every home has at least one frustrated, jobless graduate. Because we have reached a time when there is a university in every tall building. we have a university at every corner of every road.
Yes.
And then the school system that we go through has one maxim. Go to school, pass exams, get a job. So today, everyone is going to school and passing exams, and there's no job.
If you don't get education, ukabe chipuga.
Ukabe chipuga.
And those words ring from childhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is true.
So at this moment, the questions we should be asking ourselves are, can we make sense of our environment?
You know, let me ask my director to prepare the advert for this conference that is coming in 2 days' time. Mr. Mbai, I have seen some extremes in us Zambians.
Yes, yes.
You know, I was speaking to Engineer Chwala.
Yes.
Oh, Bernard.
Right. When I said, you know, most Zambians are asking that can't you reduce the 500 kwacha at least to 200 so that we attend. Okay? Now, in the meantime, we are preparing a buffet for all our guests so that they concentrate, not just buffet, but the information they are going to get, Mr. Mbai. Can a 500 be justified?
No, 500, actually it's even less compared to what they are going to get. I would say, if we take it into comparison, the businesses which most of us are doing and the kind of information that they are going to get, let's assume one person attends the workshop there and goes into horticulture. I can flash the figures here. A person who does a hectare of cabbage, because he has attended our conference and he has been taught everything that he needs to know, he will spend about 7,000 kwacha to do a hectare of cabbage.
1 hectare?
1 hectare. And in that
7,000
is what his production cost will be. And then from that 7,000 that he's going to put in, he's going to produce 44,000 heads of cabbage. Let's assume for some unforeseen eventualities, he loses 4,000. Then we say he's going to sell 40,000 heads of cabbage for the price of only 2 kwacha at the farm gate price. The cabbage from the day you transplant it to the day of harvest, it takes only 75 days. He's able to make 80,000 kwacha. Is that small money, Pastor?
From 7,000?
From 7,000 kwacha that you have put in. Is that small money? You make 80,000 kwacha within 75 days after you have put in 7,000 kwacha. For me, 500 kwacha is even little compared to the information that these people are going to get.
Now, Mr. Mbai,
yes,
wait a minute. You say they can get how much?
They can get 80,000 kwacha if they sold 40,000 of heads of cabbage for 2 kwacha at the farm gate price.
But assuming everything grows,
Yes.
you said it's how many?
I said a hectare takes 44,000. Now, from
44,000.
scientific point of view, you are not going to lose 4,000 heads of cabbage. I've already made an allowable losses there.
Yeah.
You expect a net of 40,000 heads, which you are going to sell for a minimum price of 2,000 kwacha.
2 kwacha.
The 2 kwacha. The production period was only 75 days. Then from that hectare of the field, you have made yourself 80,000 kwacha within 75 days. What more business will give you those returns?
But is cabbage 2 kwacha?
So now we
kwacha,
have taken the lowest price.
That's the lowest.
That is the lowest that we have taken.
And my goodness, this one, I'm looking at my figure here. Just from my calculator, just from what you have said,
Yes.
80,000 divide into 12 months. It simply means a person is getting 60,600 kwacha per month.
That's exactly.
So which job can employ somebody, every Zambian here, to produce this 6,600 kwacha?
Nothing.
And if you have 2 hectares, you are talking about 13,000 kwacha salary, isn't it?
Yes.
But we are pushing for one another for space in town, as you said.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
Exactly. So, Pastor, I mean, the reality that we should be talking about here is conferences like the one which is coming are aimed at doing 3 things. Every human being needs to have their self-esteem rebuilt. We are created with it, but it is lost through an environment that does not make you keep it. Secondly, every human being needs to be motivated. Look at the figures he's talking about.
My goodness.
You know, I was talking to my son. He finished grade 12 last year. He came to me and said, Daddy, what do I do? Then I said, Sonny, let me be very open with you. There are 2 roads in the world. There's a very broad one which everyone uses, and there's a very small one which very few people use. The big one is that after grade 12, you go to university. They are going to put you into some course, and you'll be feeling very good. You will soon be a degree holder. And after your degree, you might spend another year and a half looking for a job. You might get one. And then you get a salary, fixed. You have symptoms of living well, a car loan, some holiday, a workshop in Siavonga paid for by your company. And then at the end of your 30-year career, they will retire you because they don't keep tired people. Okay. They'll retire you, okay?
Tired and useless
yeah,
people.
then there will be no inheritance for your children. They'll have to come back to where you started from and do the same things. If you choose the narrower way, you can make grade 12 your last grade. Okay? And then the fees I should have paid for you. Choose a business you want to invest in. So you can choose chickens. Choose village chickens. They improve the hybrids. So if I buy you 900 hens, 900 hens, they'll start laying eggs. Grow them to 3,000. The moment you get 3,000, start selling the eggs. So sell the egg at 2 kwacha. So every day, 3,000 eggs times 2 kwacha, you'll be making 6,000 kwacha per day.
6,000
Per day.
every day.
Every day. Times 7 days. You'll be making 42,000 per week. Times 4 weeks, you are talking 168,000 per month.
My
For
God.
argument's sake, remove 50,000 is for your feed. You are keeping 118,000 per month. Then I asked him a question. Why is it that you didn't see Mr. Miller's children in school with you? Ross breeders, they are white people there, they have children. Which school do they go to?
And the
The
Galoon.
Indian community in Zambia When they come from school, they're in the shop with the father. And after grade 12, do we see them in any college? Do we see them in any university? They are opening shops. Trade kings. They are Zambian of Asian origin. Where are their children? So I told my son, you have a choice. This narrow path will be hard. You need to wake up early. You need to know the chicken very well. You need to understand this. But after 4 years, your friends who will have used the Broadway will come to look for jobs from you because they need to help you count your money. Okay. They need to vaccinate your chickens. And you need to buy them personal to order cars and build them houses so that you can keep them for a long time. They should have a sense of security, but they have no freedom. Okay. So we need to get that mindset.
Oh, Jehovah. We'll be having, let's take a break. There is a conference just 2 days to go, and tomorrow we are closing. If you don't buy your ticket, it's only 500. And the beauty, doctor, I received phone calls today. The beauty is that some are coming with their wives and children.
Brilliant.
They say, I'm coming with my wife.
I want to hear
I'm coming with, I'm telling you, this conference will be a game changer. I know that because the information you are giving us, I never received it as a pastor. You know, the information I was overloaded with was how to cast out a demon.
Yeah.
And when somebody faints, what do you do?
Yeah.
And there was no horticultural inculcation
Exactly.
in the education system.
Yeah.
And now you say, wait a minute. After you have preached, what? Look at these floodlights, Dr. Mbai. You know, we pay 600 kwacha for diesel to sustain that genset every single day.
Yes.
There never was a time that my wife and I called the members of staff and said, guys, let's pray here so that God may have mercy. God should feel that. Those are some of the prayers you never expect God to answer.
No.
Yeah.
You must look for money.
Exactly.
And put in there. And this is what we are saying. Mr. Director, please give us the advert for our conference so that this too will be part of the firing squad. And we expect you to come up and make sure that you pay tonight because tomorrow we are closing. And we are so grateful to the people that have already paid and those that are traveling. May God bless you. Give us that advert.
You are all invited to the Lusaka National Matters Conference on the 24th and 25th of September.
Time 08 hours to 16 hours.
Theme: Unlocking Zambia's Potential Through Raising a Generation of Generational Thinkers in Agriculture and Fish Farming. Venue: Government Complex. Charges: 500 kwacha per person, lunch inclusive. Speakers: Engineer Bernard Chiwala, Dr. Collins Kachaka, Mr. Salanda, Dr. Joseph Mushalika, Mr. Victor Himbai, Mr. Gilbert Banda, Siabula Prosper Sievu, Dr. Lubinda Habazoka, Israel Kembo from Zimbabwe, and your host, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chiluba. Note: limited numbers allowed due to COVID-19 restrictions. Make your payments through MTN Mobile Money on 0962 382535 or Airtel Money on 0979 753010. For more information, you can call the same numbers. Hurry before you are left out. Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726, or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back, dear Camnet TV viewers. This is National Matters. I am so saddened what you have said, Mr. Ambai, that our government should be allowing the importation of onion, the importation of cooking, what's this? Tomatoes. I'm sure even the toothpicks we import.
Oh, we do? Yeah, we do.
Instead of buying the machine to make toothpicks, they come from there.
China.
You know what? One thing I love about this conference is the fact that all of you who are speaking there, you are doctors, we have medical doctors, engineers, but you are realizing that these Kablonga boys and girls, Mukushi Secondary School, they should not focus on chemistry and biology. Yes, if you want to be a pilot, we are not stopping you. But the way my mind thinks, doctor, is this. This is what I teach the church. That once God gives you an opportunity to be a pilot, He's just saying that you can own your own plane.
Aeroplane, yeah.
You buy a plane and you are doing executive charters. You are flying them yourself. And when God exposes you to medicine, you become a doctor, chances are that God is showing you that you can have a hospital, which is far much better than Morningside in South Africa and anywhere. This is how my mind thinks.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We appreciate, I should mention that in Zambia now, there is a drive towards inculcating skills in our learners. And the Permanent Secretary for General Education, Dr. Jobix Karumba, has, I hope he's coming to the conference, has been very vocal on getting the system moved towards transfer of skills. But unfortunately, it's like giving a brand new car to someone who only knows how to ride a bicycle. So you have this new system that wants to train children in business, but you have teachers that were never trained in training people to do business. So you seem to have a proper message, but the environment is not ideal. First of all, there's resistance from the parents. The moment a parent is told your child is good at gardening, and this child must be in the fields learning how to grow cabbage, the parent will say, my child will be an engineer. Why are you putting him in the garden? Your child is gifted at playing musical instruments. The parent will resist that. They don't want the child to be. And this is why I'm happy that at the conference, there are people who are coming with their children. Because we need to realize that our failures of the past should not be passed on to our children to succeed on our behalf.
Repeat that. I love such statements.
Our failures of the past, we should not entrust our children to succeed on our behalf. They are individuals with individual passions, purposes. You cannot come to them and say, because I failed, like King Saul. You failed to kill Goliath with your regalia, and you want to hand it over to David. And say, perhaps if you use this, You can, I mean, how do you give me your failed experience? Okay.
You were divorced in marriage, and you are in a Chimbusa, teaching people how
How
to
does that work?
maintain marriage.
How does that work? You know. So I think we need to give our children
Yeah.
the privilege. I am proud of what I've done with my son. Sonny, there are two roads with different destinations. Choose the one which suits you. You know. And I told him very clearly, you want to be a teacher? Here is how a teacher lives. I'm of a teaching background. You want to be a doctor? Here's how a doctor lives. You know, you might be seeing cosmetics. You might be seeing symptoms of living well. But the reality is that it is rough to be an employee. And what we should be saying to our children now is that the country is ripe. The country is ripe for our children to create employment for themselves and for those who might not be good enough to create their own jobs.
And this is where, Mr. Ambai, to some extent, I blame politicians
Yeah.
who campaign on the platform that will create jobs.
Yes.
You want to bring slavery into Zambia.
Yeah.
You want to colonize people with your thinking.
Yeah.
You want to colonize people with your understanding of issues. So this is one thing, Mr. Ambai, that you should labor
Yes.
to talk about. I know, look at, I don't know how many things now I'll go in. You have brought cabbage. I was settling for village chicken. You bring cabbage.
Yeah, that's exactly. Agriculture is a multi-sectoral. So it has got different approaches, but at the end of the day, the achievement is increased income at the household level, at community level, even at the national level. So the approaches are different, but at the end of the day, the deliverables are very high. Sure.
I want to ask one deliberate question, just one deliberate question. Who is to blame between the politicians, our leaders, and the citizens for the mindset that the Zambian has? Who is to blame?
Wow. Can I dodge the question?
Don't dodge it.
Let me dodge it this way.
Just give
The
me
politician is a citizen.
Yeah.
The pastor is a citizen.
Okay.
And the citizen is a citizen.
Okay.
Now, who is to blame? For me, clearly, we all have a critical role to play.
Yes.
Except that those who are entrusted with leadership will be judged based on how much power they carry. Because leadership is nothing but influence. And so our leaders, while we are all lost together, and they are elected from amongst ourselves, they carry a heavier weight of responsibility. It's like a pastor. If I'm a pastor of a church and I am over spiritualizing my people, you know, I'm making them believe that they can kneel down to ask from heaven the things which are where they are needing. Then I am carrying the blame. Because it is like I am the one who has the torch and we're walking into the bush. And in the middle of the bush, I turn it off. And someone gets bitten by a snake. We are all in the bush. But the torchbearer will be to blame. So to me, the leadership at every level, leadership at home, leadership in church, national leadership, governance, President Edgar Chagwa, His Excellence, he's carrying a heavy burden. The heavy burden is to make tough decisions. And one of those tough decisions is to say, look guys, since 1967, in the curriculum of Zambia, we have told our children, let us diversify from mining to agriculture. Let us close the mines so that diversification becomes real.
Yeah.
Let's agree, for 5 years, no mining. We will only open our mines when we are able to process what we mine. But Pastor, what sense does it make to dig your copper, send it to China, and start waiting for cables? Cut your trees in Western Province, send them to South Africa, and start waiting for desks. You know, it's the Esau Jacob mentality. You know, we need to get out of this hunter mentality, where we are always running and never investing. We are always running. You know, I mean, we have reached a stage now where people come to fish out resources, and then we call them investors. What have you invested? You know, so to me, who is to blame? Leadership carries a heavier load because people look to you. Like you said, when we get on the political platform to campaign, what are we promising the people? We are now 55 years old as a country. I think we're at a stage when we should have eyeball to eyeball, electorate and MP, and talk to each other. What this country needs are laws that create an operating environment which makes me succeed. I don't need anyone who will tell me who will bring electricity to your community. Even if you bring it, you will never put it in my house. Okay? So I don't want to have cables over my roof while I live in darkness. I don't want to have a tarred road behind my backyard while I'm still walking. So let's empower the human being so that he can make use of an improved environment. Because it is very possible to live in a rich country and you remain very poor. Because poverty at the end of the day is a personal battle. We are not collectively poor. We are individually
Poor, yeah, that's true.
We are individually poor.
And that is why this conference is addressing individuals. Because it's wrong to say in Zambia we are poor. You should say in Zambia I am poor.
You know, Mr. Ambai,
Yes, Pastor.
what Disney one day said, the way to get started in the life of greatness is to quit talking and begin to do.
Exactly.
To quit talking and begin to do.
That's exactly. I think in the doctor's preamble, he mentioned something which is very touching. He said, from Kaunda, we have been talking about taking agriculture as a benchmark for export. Yeah, the thing is that we have been on the part of talking, but we have not implemented. What we need is to translate these talks into realities. Actualization is very important at this stage. Let's talk about some things which can be quantifiable, and then we look at them and say, okay, this is what we have done. Let's take, for example, it doesn't make sense for us to continue consuming oranges coming all the way from South Africa. When oranges can be grown here in Zambia, we need to start thinking about how do we put a hub for production of these fruits within the country, so that when we produce these fruits within the country, then we are able to have them around, as well as the excess we export to our friends like Congo, who don't have the environment which fits what they do.
So, yeah.
So when we start thinking like that, then we are going to increase the productivity and start earning the foreign exchange, because we are losing it. I've given an example of a 30 tons truck that comes into Zambia. Do you know what figures we are talking about here, Pastor? A 30 tons truck carries about 3,000 pouches of 10 kg onions. And when it goes to the Zambian market, the marketeers are buying that onion at 100 kwacha per bag. This simply means that 30 tons truck actually gives the person who brought it into Zambia, he earns about 300,000 kwacha on one 30 tons truck. So that is the amount of money that we have lost in foreign exchange, which should have actually been gained if that onion was produced within the country. All the fruits that are coming in this country, that is how much we are losing. And yet we have the capacity, we have the water, we have the land. What we can do is we can say, okay, look, people, let's put up maybe at every province we put up an orchard. And see how that orchard will do, maybe 10 hectares orchard, and see how it is going to produce. We put assorted fruits now. The idea behind it is that science is at play now. Gone are days when people would say, no, I can't grow an orange tree because it will take me 12 years to grow. There are so many innovations that have come in place played by science. Now you can grow the orange tree through grafting. The tree that should have started producing at 10 years, it will start producing at 4 years. You can go we can do another science which is called air layering. It's another method where you take the mango tree which is producing already, you play around with its branches. When you get that branch, you put it on the ground. Within 6 months, you start getting the fruits. So the issue of time, the issue of long-term investment is not there. We are able to do these things. All we need is let's work together. Let's come up with a strategy on how we can put these enterprises operational. So that once these enterprises are operational, then we can start trickling them down to district and until they reach the household level. Then we will be able to have an export product to show and say, look, guys, this is what we are producing. Who needs that? Who needs it in our region? That way we are going to earn the most needed foreign exchange than us, depending on everything that comes into the country that we consume has to come from outside.
Jehovah God. You know, this morning I was speaking to Reverend Kapoi, Keith Kapoi, is in Mpongwe. His son is a graduate. He has no job. We're not just talking about a graduate of selling matches. He's an engineer. But there are no jobs in Zambia. And they have this 400 hectares of land, which is not being utilized.
Wow.
So when they heard my wife and I talk about empowering the poor, they donated that farm, part of it, 400 hectares. And I'm looking, the people of Mpongwe, once we mobilize them and open up that farm, I can tell you, just that farm, 400 hectares,
Yes.
How many families can it feed, Mr. Ambai?
400 hectares can feed over 2,000 family households.
You're here? 2,000
Yes.
families.
Yes. And the other thing that I really want to talk about over these issues of export, I think this goes to our national leaders. As we are on the ground, we observe things happening, but sometimes we say, no, we have no control about them. But at least this becomes a very good platform where we can bring those issues actually for serious consideration by the politicians, I should say so. There are some pronouncements that are made, such as, no, let all the horticultural produces be done by the local people. No export should be allowed to happen in Zambia now, things like that. But those pronouncements are not put into enforcement. I have said so because the process is assumed very bureaucratical. Right now, what is happening is if you are to go into vegetable production and earn money, the biggest channel of distribution is the supermarkets. Now, these supermarkets, the channel that is used to get the produce from the farmer is a bit complicated because they are not, those opportunities are not given to the local people. For example, what is happening in these big chain stores is that the chain stores, they want this number of vegetables to be produced and be given to them for sale. You will find that the person who has been identified as a supplier is also someone from their country who has been contracted. He's the one who decides who supplies to that supermarket. So as a result, the local people don't have the access to what is said to be available. So that's another problem which need to be looked at by the politicians, because when we say the Zambians should access this market, it should not have any strings attached to it. Let it be a situation where I grow them from my farm. My next question is, how does it get to the supermarket? How are the transactions going to be done? Unlike a situation where you are taking to the supermarket to go and sell those vegetables, the next thing you hear is, no, we have a contractor who supplies to us because that is the gentleman who meets the due diligence. Now you try to investigate who is this gentleman, comes from the country where the supermarket comes from. So that is very bureaucratic. It doesn't help us.
Not only that, I can tell you without apology here that some of these supermarkets that you see, I start Camnet. Camnet will start another something.
Yes.
When I'm advertising, you think, oh, that business belongs to Mr. Ambai.
Himbai, yeah.
No, it's under Camnet.
Yes, that's exactly.
And I start something, transportation. That transportation is under Camnet.
Yes.
Everything. So what these people do, they just maximize.
Yes,
like
that's exactly.
you say, what term do you say that when you are producing, you should maximize this. What is the right word?
Diversification?
No. To
no.
maximize the profit.
Actual maximization of profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of these supermarkets, I
Yes.
can tell you, they
Yes.
are owned by an individual
Yes.
who owns the transport that
Yeah.
brings the things.
Exactly.
Who owns
The processor.
the processor, and who owns what. So everything that you are doing, when they say no, we cannot take tomato from the doctor in Zambia, we already have. They are
Yes.
just saying, don't tamper with our profit.
Yes,
You
that's
don't
exactly.
have to be a scientist to.
To understand that, yes,
No.
that is true.
You will see that when government, and I'm begging by the mercies of God, you as government leaders, members of parliament, ukulanda, tuchefieko, let's act.
Yes, that's
This
exactly.
economy is going down, not because we are poor. Money is being siphoned. Shimoshaya ku Benjin, shimoshaya ku South Africa, shimbisha bwera ku Brazil, muno tulesharafe, nensala. And this must stop. It must stop if we are going to make headways.
Yes.
And someone has said, Dr. Mbai, the best way, Dr. Musharika. Someone has said, if you did not plant a mango tree
Yeah.
or avocado tree,
Yes.
which you like, 20 years ago, don't lose hope and say 20 years ago I used
I
to
did.
like avocados.
Yes.
You can plant it now.
Exactly.
It will still give you the same satisfaction 20 years from now.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You don't have to lose hope.
Exactly.
So 55 years, doctor, we have lost out. And now where are we going?
Exactly. And I think getting to that point which you emphasize in terms of let's not allow money to go. You know, as a pastor, I think you have read a statement somewhere, the Commonwealth of Israel. You know, I was reading something about that, and what I learned was the Jews will not allow money to get out of Jewish hands until it has gone around for more than 18 times.
Yes.
So a Jew will buy beans from a Jew, will buy chicken from a Jew, will buy maize meal from a Jew, and the money will go around. In Zambia, I mean, we are not being racist. It is very rare that you are going to find a Zambian of Asian origin in a Zambian of Zambian origin restaurant.
No, you can't even see them.
You will not see them.
They are never even there.
Okay? So they buy from each other, and we buy from them. So money circulates amongst them. Now, when we have a conference like the one coming in the next 2 days, all we are saying is there's a question to be answered.
Yeah.
Who is who in this country? Who is doing what? So you have people like Dr. Kachaka. He's a fish farmer. We expect the Zambian fish seller to buy fish from Dr. Kachaka. We expect the Zambian restaurant owner to buy fish from the Zambian fish trader. We expect the Zambian town man to eat shima and fish from a Zambian restaurant. We cannot have people who are brothers and sisters in church only, socially and spiritually connected, but economically disconnected.
Can you imagine that?
So we have this relationship that is in church. But even at church level, there's a carpenter in church, there's a bricklayer in church, there's an electrician in church, there's a mechanic in church. Why is my vehicle at
Being serviced
a different place?
by somebody.
Why is my house being wired by somebody? And then when I come to church, I'm expecting offering from this Chihuahua producer from whom I don't buy. Okay, so one of the things we are going to look at this conference is how can we make money circulate among ourselves? Government is a heavy machine. It moves very slowly. You know, bills will be presented, they take very long. As we wait for that process, what are we doing at micro level, at our own levels? Who has a hammer mill? Who is making super roller? Am I taking my maize to that person? Who is making Chibwantu? Can you imagine, Pastor? Even Chibwantu business has been taken over.
By big companies.
Even Chibwantu business has been taken over.
Look at this, Dr. Musharika. Look at this.
Yeah.
Here is Camnet TV. You know, Camnet TV is reaching people far and wide.
Yeah.
Botswana, they watch this. Australia, they watch this. Now, here is a Zambian
Yeah.
who has a business. Instead of bringing the business to advertise
Advertise here.
on Camnet, they would rather look for a channel in Swaziland or South Africa so that they say my advert comes from South Africa.
Imagine.
And in the meantime,
Yeah.
this channel is helping somebody
Exactly.
out there. Because, Dr. Mshawate, listen, the Bible says, my people perish. Because of what?
Lack of
the conference,
Exactly.
which we are holding in 2 days.
Yes, yes.
Because if people don't have knowledge, and the Bible says iron sharpens iron.
Iron.
Me, I refuse.
Yeah.
Mr. Bai,
Yes, sir.
you know, in Bemba twalikuwa ensasero ati insoni ebuntu.
Ebuntu.
Ubu insoni ngashapwa nisho ubuntu bwafumamu. You cannot.
Yeah.
I like the term you used. Self-esteem.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Jewish people have a saying, and my lecturer told me this in 1989 when I went to study in Wheaton, Chicago. He said that they have a saying, no matter where you are, Henry Kissinger or whatever,
Yeah.
all the rich people, a Jew honors God with a tithe. That 10%.
Yeah.
Now guess where it goes? Back to Israel.
Back to Israel.
Because he says, a true Jew never forgets Jerusalem.
Yes, yes.
And me, I'm not a Jew.
Yeah.
But Zambia is on my heart.
Yes.
I believe with all my heart, Mr. Imbai,
Yes.
that we'll get this country out of debt.
No, we will.
For sure, we will.
We will.
And those people who have given up, your country, what? In every situation, kwali baba chita panic.
It's true.
Yes, yes. Yes.
N'abakola tinangu bale mu matalelira but nachikalipa.
Yes, yes. Actually, you're right, Pastor. We are heading somewhere.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that we have seen where things are wrong.
Yeah.
And we have seen that actually in what is wrong is a corrective kind of arrangement. We know that everyone else has a role to play. It's some kind of a tripartite responsibility now. It calls for the government to take part. It calls for the people, everyone, every citizen should also take part in what is happening, especially to build this country. I've said it time without number that those who think the politicians are going to create wealth which will sustain them, they are living in a deceived world. The role of the politician is to create an enabling environment, but we ourselves should create that wealth by looking at these opportunities that are going to be presented to us during the time of our conference. Because then our minds are going to be opened. We will see what may be perceived as hidden opportunities. They'll be brought out in open so that people can look at them, they have options, and then they can see where there is gold which has not been tapped. Sure.
You know, Dr. Mshawati, you remember my son, Michael Chiluba, played golf at the highest level.
Yes, Michael.
And I started him, training him when he was 7, okay? And he's growing up. At the age of 12, he joins the senior senior national team.
Yeah.
They are playing Zone 6 in Namibia.
In Namibia, yes.
He was the youngest and the shortest in Namibia, but good golfer. Guess who they played against? South Africa. And in the South African team was this boy called Brandon Grace. Brandon Grace, the results he brought, the following day, I said to my son, you must befriend this one.
Yeah.
Because this boy will go places. And from that time to now, they are friends. They chat even when they are practicing before he stopped. In Kenya, I would say, Pastor Chiluba, where is Michael? I want to go training with him. But here's the deal. When it was raining, they suspended the play. We are in the 9th hole, and Brandon Grace was there. I said, Brandon, I like the way you hit the ball, Sunny.
Yeah.
Tell me, are you going to go to university? I am asking Brandon Grace that question. Here is the answer he gave me. He said, Pastor Chiluba, to university to do what? God has given me this talent. I will employ graduates to come and work for me
Yeah.
so that I concentrate on my golf.
Yeah.
You know that boy today is over $20 million worth.
Wow.
I'm telling you. He's just 4 years difference with my son, different from my son.
Yeah.
He plays golf with Tiger Woods. Even this US Open, he was there. He's been sponsored. Brandon Grace is an household name now in golf. He has got a company and he has employed qualified people. True to his word, what he told me.
Exactly what he said.
When he was 16, my son was 12. He says, I'm not going to go to university, wasting my time. God has given me the talent. Only playing golf is a millionaire. And here is Zambia that wants to be working
Yeah.
for the so-called
Yeah.
investors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what? You know, let me say this in Nyanja. Chibaba.
Chibaba.
Sure.
No, it is true.
Chibaba.
It is.
When you think
It
of
is.
what a Zambian has reduced himself to,
Yeah.
with all this land,
Yeah.
it's very painful.
For sure.
Very painful.
Yeah. So then, Pastor, what should we be doing now? I'm thinking to myself, why don't school head teachers attend this conference? Why don't directors? And I think it's not too late. We could actually make an invitation. I mean, 500 kwacha they can pay that. Attend this conference and let's talk to each other. You know, sometimes when we are on TV and people are listening, there's a lot of internal debate because man by nature is defensive.
Yeah,
You know?
that is true.
I think 2 months ago, I made a statement in one interview where I said, I still don't understand why a Zambian child should be told who Shaka's mother was. Okay? I still don't understand why, as a Christian nation, we still waste our children's time teaching them about proconsul, homo habilis. If they want that knowledge, they can read on their own. I got a barrage of criticism. How do you criticize what you went through? And I said, I thought the definition of wisdom is to clearly see that the road you used was wrong.
That is true.
You know? So you don't tell people, because I used this road, even if I got lost,
Use it too.
You will discover on your own.
I think time has come when, as a nation, we should be saying to ourselves, when are we going to stop singing potential? When are we going back to our national anthem and say, guys, line by line, stand and sing of Zambia
Proud and free.
The question is, are we proud?
Oh, no.
We are not.
You know, I ask church people, I tell them, look, guys, you are a Christian and you work for a Chinaman, nothing wrong. And you are wanted at a camp meeting for church. You go to a Chinese who worships a stick to get permission to go and worship a true God. Something should tell you there's something wrong fundamentally with you. Okay? When are we going to say land of work? This country is a land of work. And don't confuse work with employment. Okay? Treat work as work. This is a
Absolutely.
land of work. When are we going to proudly say one land and one nation is our cry? And there's a next statement, dignity.
Dignity.
Where is our dignity?
Hey, Jehovah.
Where is our dignity? And what things bring about dignity? Any person who is not economically free cannot claim to have dignity.
You know what, Doctor Nisambai, let's open the lines so that we can chat. This is a serious affair.
Yeah.
I can tell you what we are having right here in Cabinet
Yes, yes.
and involving the whole nation is better than some of the debates in parliaments which we don't hear.
Yeah, which we don't hear.
Because, let me tell you something. once our mindset has undergone surgery, it will be to our advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
That by the grace of God, can you imagine, Mr. Abai, raising 10, 15,000 Zambians. We have 20, what's the population, about 17
We could
million?
be around 17 now.
About 17 million.
17 million?
Yeah.
Out of 17 million, don't go to 10%.
No,
Let's just take 5%
5%.
of the Zambian population. Put them as farmers. Do you know that the 5% can sustain the rest of the
The whole
Zambia?
nation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole
is-
nation.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Israel Kembo is coming for this conference. We were chatting this morning. He said, Pastor Chiruba, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I want to show the Zambian people
Yes.
what money you have. What money you have. Please define the word potential again. I like
My definition.
Yes, your
Currently
definition.
useless, but can be useful.
Can be useful in the future.
Let's pick up this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, Pastor.
Good evening to you, sir.
This is Mr. Kawe calling from Choma.
Mr. Sakabwe,
Yes, I'm calling from Choma.
please go ahead and talk to the nation.
Mr. Mshaka, good evening.
Evening, sir.
Yeah, I am the PTA chairperson for St. Patrick's in
Ah, yes, I was thinking about that name. Yeah.
Choma. Pastor, what's the man I was talking about?
Huh?
What is Mr. Mshaka that I was talking about?
So, Mr. Sakabwe, you didn't know that he's part of the people that are speaking.
I thought, at first, I was doubtful.
Oh, okay, no, is one of the speakers.
I tell you, Pastor, you love this country.
Yes, sir.
You love this country because if you are talking about production,
Yeah.
to me, Mr. Msharika, the syllabus in this country, no doubt about it, is very bad. Because what should I do with the matter of Bushaka? There is no connection with what I have to do. Today I was buying a zip for my animals at the farm in Iteshteji. Now take Pastor, where is the connection with the man of Bushaka?
Yeah.
I went and selected my children in my house. I said, can you listen to this program? It's very, very important.
They are listening?
They are listening.
I'm telling you.
These issues of degrees and doctorates, no wonder these doctorates today, Mr. Msharika, they have realized that let us make them honorary because they look at to achieve anything. Pastor Dad, uncle, God bless you.
Amen.
If the Zambians will choose not to listen to this, then we have just decided to do so. In Zambia, it is true, Mr. Msharika. If somebody says we are poor, yesterday I was refusing that me, I'm not part of that.
You were born for greatness.
Exactly. I told them, me, I'm rich.
Uh-huh.
I refused. I said, we're not big up with you.
Yeah.
In the room where I am speaking to, I am not eating my nshima from anybody. The maize that I'm using came from my farm.
Can you imagine that?
And at my farm, I've got a storeroom where I've got 250 by 50 kgs. And I've got the Nganga 350. Shishadamukira Amani. And when people want to say we are poor, in this country we are not poor.
I'm telling you.
So we should go into practical.
Good.
I'm telling you.
Mumo school bali kinyamula protection unit. But let the people wait. Can that sure make somebody to survive? Sure.
No.
Let me give chance to others. Otherwise, sometimes when I see people, in themselves, I shed my tears.
Absolutely.
The answer, Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kabwe. Did you hear what he said?
Exactly. Sure.
I am so grateful to have people like him. You see, in Mufurira, one reverend has donated a farm of 100 hectares. We are going to take 300 youths in Mufurira.
Yes, yes.
Through cabinet program.
Wow.
And put them there. They will be paid from the same money,
Yes.
which they will be making.
Yeah.
In Impongwe, we have this 400 hectares. We're taking that and turn it into something. Leon Stephen Mumukumbwa farm yabanen, yo mumone farm yaba Galuni, mumone farm yaba Brown. And I want you to know that, Dr. Mushavati, when you go to this state lodge, see the vehicles that go there around the evening. It's all white.
Yeah.
They don't live in town.
No.
They've got farms, they grow what they want. They just come here. Please, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Thank you, and how are you?
We are permanently blessed. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is the Pastor Musonda calling from Silahongwe.
Pastor Musonda.
Yes, calling from Silahongwe.
Please go ahead, the man of God, and speak to the nation.
Yes, the member of the SDA Church.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the pastor. This is a very good program.
Yes, sir.
Our wish that most of us, men of God, can begin to invite these men, okay, to our own churches. So that when I like the statement that Dr. Musharika said, presentation program. We said that in the church we have got bricklayers, we've got carpenters, we've got painters, we've got electricians, and those are the same people that want to bring us in the church. But when you stand on the platform, even maybe to get them, for lack of a better word, you are cursed because there's nothing that you are bringing in the house of God. And yet, them people, they are poor. We are not giving them the stuff that is supposed to be given to them.
That's right.
For sure, we took the word of God to them. But right like what you said, even if you kneel down, if you kneel down with your members in your church, pastor, you pray from 6 hours to the following 6 hours. There will be no money that will rain from heaven. Until people go down to work, then they bring money on the table. And that money will come in the church. And then the gospel will go forward. So this is a very good program. I want to thank you most sincerely for bringing these men on the platform. And this man will speak to many people in those during the conference. If many of us pastors, because we pastors, we have more people than politicians.
Absolutely.
Because even politicians, they come to know before us. Because we are having the people. So we are better placed. Like the politicians.
And you can imagine, Pastor Musonda, do you know that the names that we have compiled, the people that are coming for this conference? They are not.
I've seen Dr. Pachaka, I've seen Dr. Musharika.
No.
I've seen Sandai.
No.
I've seen Chuala.
What I'm saying, Pastor, is this. This conference, these great speakers, brains that God has given us, we call for a conference. Do you know that there are not even more than 10 pastors who are attending this conference?
It is unfortunate.
The whole Zambia. There are not even more than 10 pastors who have registered to come for this conference.
It is unfortunate. You see, this is why you ask a question. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You ask a question. You ask Mr. Andai and Dr. Musharika, you ask them a question to say, between the politicians and us, who is wrong? And in his answering, Dr. Musharika was saying both, but the bigger part goes to the politicians. And to give you an example, moving in the bush, he has a torch, and then from nowhere, he switches off the torch. And the snake bites one of who? The people in the company. Who is to blame? The man with the torch. As pastor, for God's sake, we need to come out of our cocoon. We need to learn to empower the people that we preach to.
Yes, yes.
Because if we empower the people, you know, we remain this issue of saying, just to pray, God is going to rain manna. We are no longer in the wilderness. We are not telling from Egypt going to Canaan. No. We are in Zambia. This is our Canaan today. My right, Pastor. So, it is unfortunate that most especially the conference is in Lusaka. I expected hundreds of pastors in Lusaka.
Well, the people that have registered are coming from the business world and families that have got to change their minds.
Yeah.
You know.
You can see that. And then with the other pastors, we just be busy preaching the word, but we are not helping our own people.
Oh, may God.
I really thank you, man of God.
Thank you, Pastor Msonda.
Dr. Musharika, we are waiting for you, 17th October.
Chirabombwe.
Tell him we are waiting for you in Chirabombwe.
Okay, sir, I'll be there.
Yes. Please, man of God, may the Lord bless you and bless your ministry.
And don't forget, Pastor Msonda,
Sir,
start preparing because this team will be on the Copper Belt on the 9th and 10th of October, which is just few weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, we will be on the Copper Belt. So keep your 500 kwacha and invite other people.
we'll meet in the ground.
God bless you.
We'll
Thank
meet in the
you.
ground.
Thank you so much. God bless you. You know, one of the things, Mr. Mbai,
Yes, yes, Pastor.
I've learned, whites or our friends there, they go for things which make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Africa, mukamusange nangu umuntu aleluisha ensoka, so that's where you find a big group. Things which don't make sense.
Yeah.
It attracts people.
Yes, that is true.
I don't know why.
I keep going back to the same. You know, what changes people is a value system. You know, we, unfortunately, with the entrance of the missionary, they did a good job. But I think there was also some hidden agenda. And a school system that doesn't place value on what matters. I'll give you an example. Pastor, what sense does it make to make history compulsory, agricultural science optional?
That's a good one.
Just think about it.
That's a good one.
Why should home economics be optional and English language is compulsory? Now you look at it. Between RE and agricultural science, which one has value? So why is RE compulsory and agricultural science optional. So systematically, when you teach someone to be more emotional, you know, their feelings, their value system is affected. So if we were to say there will be coffee Olomide at government complex, people will break the COVID rules. Okay, it's a value system.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
It's a value system. But if you tell people, come so that we sit together and you tell us who you are and what you are doing, what help you need to receive, come and meet people who have already succeeded in the industry you want. The value system. You know, and so we need to start making people know what to value.
Oh, Jehovah.
At church level, bring a choir to sing. The church will be packed. Bring a speaker
A pastor to come
who
and teach.
talks about this is not the way. You see people walking out. So it's an issue of values. What do you value?
My goodness.
People will wake up from home at 20 hours to go to the next bar to watch the Champions League. These are 50-year-old men. Okay? The same man will not wake up at 05 to water vegetables. Value. 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 And that is why, to me, even if I was in Shibuyunji today, the whole day, by the way, Pastor, I'm just coming from Shibuyunji to here. I told Dr. Kachaka, what CAMNET is doing needs everyone's support. So even if I'm tired, even if I'm just arriving, this is something that we need to value. We need to value this. So when this nation will reach a level when we learn what to value, then conferences like this one would actually be stopping people. Would actually be saying, please,
There are too many.
can we have another one next week?
That's right.
You know? Because I expect my friends from Chivolia, from Mrs., from John Lang to sacrifice. I expect colleagues from Kablonga, from Woodlands. I expect people from Kafue, from Mazabuka to say, look, this is not something I can miss. Because this might be the turnaround point
Absolutely.
of my life.
Absolutely.
But let's bring a friendly game between Gabon and Zambia in Heroes Stadium. There will be a stampede.
You know, Dr. Mushabat, you have helped this nation a lot. Value system.
It's a value system.
Mr. Ambai,
Yes.
are you hearing?
Yes, yes, very much.
May God bless this great nation.
Amen.
Mr. Director, please give us the advert. Tomorrow we are closing. Just in case you didn't hear that these men will be there. And I want you to know that these people you are going to meet on Thursday or Friday, I want you to know this will be your turning point. I'm rubbing shoulders with them. And by the way, each time I sit down with you people, I am thinking of going on a sabbatical leave as a pastor for 1 year so that I can also grow my
No, we need you here.
finance. Give us that advert.
This is your
You are all invited to the Lusaka National Matters Conference on the 24th and 25th of September.
Time 08 hours to 16 hours.
Theme: Unlocking Zambia's Potential Through Raising a Generation of Generational Thinkers in Agriculture and Fish Farming. Venue: Government Complex. Charges: 500 kwacha per person, lunch inclusive. Speakers: Engineer Bernard Chiwala, Dr. Collins Kachaka, Mr. Salanda, Dr. Joseph Mushalika, Mr. Victor Himbai, Mr. Gilbert Banda, Siabula Prosper Sievu, Dr. Lubinda Habazoka, Israel Kembo from Zimbabwe, and your host, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chiluba. Note: limited numbers allowed due to COVID-19 restrictions. Make your payments through MTN Mobile Money on 0962 382535 or Airtel Money on 0979 753010. For more information, you can call the same numbers. Hurry, hurry, before you are left out.
Make sure before we close this deal, by midday tomorrow, everything closes. That 500 which you are paying, I like what you said to your son. Choose between me paying school fees or between taking another route. The 500, people are looking at it, some people now, to be an issue. It's not at all. Let's pick up this call and we'll...
Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pastor.
How are you, sir?
I'm permanently blessed.
You see, equally us here. What's your name and where you calling us from?
I'm Pastor Chanda calling from Kitwe.
Vapasco, please go ahead and speak to the nation.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Haimbe and Dr. Musharika.
Evening, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I just like what Dr. Musharika said. I can pick it from our forefather, the president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, when he used to say that go back to the land. By then, I was a young boy, I was in primary school, so we were laughing, Now it has started making sense this time. This is the time now we should hold to going back to the land. I like what Dr. Musharika said, that maybe for the moment we shut the minds, at least maybe the minds as we clipped our minds, we have just put our minds to the minds. Whenever the minds are doing bad, the country goes to its knees. So this is the time where he said that maybe we shut the minds for the moment, then we go agriculture way. Maybe that way our minds now will be focused on agriculture. And I like what Mr. Haimbe said on the horticulture. He gave a good scenario about planting cabbages. I think we've become lazy because we were good to be employed. That's the problem we've got. I think it's time now to come out of the cocoon. Yeah, school we can have it, but what is important, the God is in the land. We need to go back to the land. I know when they come in Kitwe, I will attend this conference. I will really attend this conference because we've been slaves. Although we are in employment, we've been slaves. We are, we may think that we are not slaves, but the moment we are in, because we just wait for the month to come so that I can get a salary. But when I go back to the land, because I know I'll sweat for that money and I'll work it hard so that I can get the fruit of my hands. So I think Mr. Dr. Haimbe, I think talk to the government. And again, on our syllabus, I think some of these things they need to be gotten rid of. The history part, what does it apply to our living now? The history. We've passed that. So even our children now, we should tell them to concentrate on subjects that will give them skills. At the end of the day, even if we finish grade 12, you've got a degree, you are a doctor, but at the end of it, we are being enslaved. What is important, we need to go back to the land. I think this topic, Pastor Mwewa Fiachi, school son, you brought something which is very great to the nation. We are opening our minds. I'm sure the government is listening, most especially the politician. This is a politician fight, but as Zambians like Mr. Haimbe said, we should now just develop and...
Oh.
We have lost him.
Sorry about that. Have you heard me?
Yes, that is true.
By the special grace of God, I want to live and see Zambia move from the third world to the first world.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to live and see that because we have what it takes. I like your definition of potential. We have the potential.
Yes.
In other words, we are useless.
Currently.
Yes.
Currently.
Yeah.
But, these things. And once you have understanding, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, it
I was
does.
preaching in New York, And one of the speakers I was speaking with from India, he comes up and he says, you know, they welcomed him. No, Brother Satish is a very warm brother, he's nice, what. And when he stood to speak, he says, I am very concerned. I'm wondering what I've done, what levels I've hit for my brother to say I'm very warm. I'm very concerned because Jesus said you are neither hot nor
No cold.
He says, I'm wondering if I backslid. But the man meant he was praising him, that is like this. But him, because of understanding,
Yeah.
he goes into the proper usage of the word.
Yes.
And this is where Zambians, we have sometimes missed it. Oh, Zambians are nice, they are peaceful. In the meantime, Vaneva,
Exactly.
you go to study history, Dr. Mushavata, as you said. How can we all believe that Dr. Livingstone discovered the Victoria Falls? Where were the ancestors to Chief Mukuni?
The ones who took him there.
The ones who took him there.
They didn't
What
discover.
are their names? And we believe all these things. For what purpose? I don't know.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, Vane, ama eggs, you buy them, like, what's his name? Our chicken man,
Martin Salad.
Salanda.
Yeah.
Buying chicks.
Yeah.
There is no cost to it.
No.
You are just buying little by little. Even if you are planting, Mr. Ime, you are planting 10 avocados
Yes.
per month.
Yeah. At the end of the year, you have 120.
You have 120, yes.
120. Now look at the yield that the engineer Chowala was talking about. Please get yourself a ticket. We're going to have lunch with these people. You come and meet them, have the phone numbers, and let's take this nation to another level. Members of parliament, I know some of you, you are very proud to attend meetings like this one. In the meantime, your families are ridden with hunger. Fumieni pofika ka MP tagtata. Iseni uko. Nicodemus.
Exactly.
Said yakwisobushiku kwisa vyakasuba.
But in fact,
You know?
Pastor, for me, if I were MP, these are places where I would go.
Oh,
And get it, like they say in English, from the horse's mouth.
Yes. Yes.
You know, what do people think about us when we're in parliament? What are the people's expectations of us when we're in parliament? It is in these places where you are going to face people who will tell you, I wish you could pass a law which does this.
Yes.
I wish you could. And that way you're going to be an effective MP
yeah.
who is going to have a career that will be remembered.
Oh, let's take up this call. Hello?
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pastor. How are you? And good evening to the panelists there.
Good evening to you. We are very well and born for greatness.
Amen. I'm calling you from Chipata.
What's your name? Who?
I'm Silungwe.
Silungwe.
Yes, from Chipata.
Please go ahead and contribute.
I would like to first of all thank you, Pastor Chiluba. I follow your channel religiously. Not the religious that Dr. Msharika was talking about, but the objective religion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, actually, I'm touched with the way Pastor Chiluba, with your passion for this country and the panel that you've been bringing. I've been following your interviews from Dr. Havazoka up to where you brought the two gentlemen here. And my pain is to actually see that if you look at the way us, the youth, devalue such programs like Dr. Msharika was saying, it's very baffling and it's very disappointing because the youth are the people that should have actually registered in huge numbers, from my view, for this country to get to where it's supposed to be. But I'm shocked that it's a pity that some of us are not in Lusaka. How even in data could have gone to attend this function, because this looks
an eye-opener and a poverty dismissal for this country.
Absolutely.
So my appeal is to you, Pastor Chilua. May God continue to bless you because you've provided a platform for many others. I follow your sermons together with Madam Chilua, and I can tell you that is why you do not have blind followers, because your message is clear-cut, and it's a message that we don't want to hear. A lot of your friends have got mega churches, and they preach Jesus, who is like a casino, not the Jesus Christ of Nazareth that we know. Your message is genuine and your message is tested. That is why you have got very few and the honest and faithful believers. So my appeal to you, Pastor, is that carry on with this movement, and please may you take it to all the provinces so that people can be enlightened. Because this is a crusade like the one Jesus Christ did. Not all will believe, but if you can catch a good number of us, I think things would change. Because it is programs like this that will liberate us from poverty. And even when choosing our leaders, we will choose based on our information and our objectiveness. Because the more we remain in poverty, the more we make poor decisions when it comes to choices of the leaders that we are supposed to lead us. Like Dr. Msharika was saying, this is a country that is so rich. Pastor Chilua, I've been talking about this thing time immemorial. I've been following Cabinet from the day it was launched on DSTV. And look at the poverty levels. In Zambia, on average, Zambians were living in poverty above 72% on average. In Western Province and Mchinga, poverty levels is above 80%. Here in Eastern Province, we're above somewhere 60% poverty levels. So, but when you look at the resources that the Chinese are coming to get, exploit us, insult us, beat our friends, maybe connive with one or two of our leaders, we call leaders, but sometimes these are misleaders. Then you find that us, the people, we remain in poverty. The election cycles come, we put in people that we think they'll save us, they go and save themselves. So please, Pastor Chilua, this crusade you've started is well-meaning. Only those that are not seeing the patriotism in you may blame you. But this is a very good move, and I commend Dr. Msharika, I commend the other man there, and all the balance that you have been bringing. You mean well for this country. Please, I hope that you can also frame other programs for the youth specifically, with a target message for the youth, because the youth are the game changer. The people got independence, majority of them were youth.
But you know, Mr. Silungwe, let me interrupt you there. I like the earlier statement which you brought. You said and appealed to your fellow youths and concurred with Dr. Mushavati's saying that the value system, some of the youths who are supposed to be listening to this program, probably they are just swinging their heads on channel O, and their mind is zero, because there is nothing that they are getting. So I want to interrupt you by saying the youths need to come and sit under these men and say, we are the next generation. Let's hear from these people who have gone before us. They are medical doctors, they are engineers, these people are heavily qualified. But now, if a youth is waiting for a conference where I will bring youths with jeans, dark glasses, and it may not be beneficial. So I agree with you. All the youths in Lusaka and Zambia should just get 500 from their parents to say, Dad, Mom, let me attend this conference for once.
Exactly. I concur with you. Actually, my point when I mentioned that statement was this conference that you'll be having on Thursday or Friday, it will be multi-sectorial in terms of age. And you see, there are things that the youth will think when they see me attending with my father, they will think, no, my father will hear for me. But the way you've started coming up with this program, how I pray that you can specifically target the youth. Not that you should reduce the price, because those that are angry to get to prosperity, they'll definitely sacrifice. The problem is that when the youth is not conscientized to right things, they would definitely remain poorer, and this country will fall at the hands of the Chinese. Because every Chinese man who is in Zambia, I think 90% of the Chinese that are in Zambia, President Xi Jinping takes account of them. He knows what they are doing, he knows where they are, he knows what they are eating, and he knows what they have fed on to them. But here in Zambia, right now as we are watching this program, you find that the youth are busy on Facebook, maybe watching obscene material and anything, something that may not be progressive. But here is a program free of charge to watch, as long as you're in the comfort of your home or wherever you can be. We avoid such programs. The programs we want is there's a show on Saturday. We start polishing our jeans.
May the Lord bless you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Silungwe.
Thank you.
Let me show you the number to call. We will ask for that advert. Please, if you can do your mobile transfer now, just in case you are waiting, the door is closing tomorrow. And the next time, you have to follow us to the Copper Belt when you hear the people that will attend this conference. There is one couple that is coming from Livingston. Wow. They just said, we can't miss this. They are traveling all the way to just come and attend this. And in the meantime, some people in Lusaka, who even live near the government complex.
People can walk. Students at NIPA. We can just walk across them.
You can imagine, you go to a doctor to just tell you what is bringing a headache, you pay 1,500 consultation. And here is the knowledge you are getting to become rich and how to go about it. 500, you say it's expensive.
And Pastor, in addition to getting knowledge, I think there's something that Zambians need to value. In one of my books, I have written, to me, every handshake matters. Now, networking opportunity. Networking opportunity. Engineer Bernard Chiwala was visited by ZDA not long ago, and he was talking about the huge market for Hass avocado. And people have been wondering, what is this Hass avocado? Now, through CAMNET, Engineer Chiwala will be at this conference.
Yes.
So why don't you take the opportunity and meet him and talk to him about the Hass avocados? Dr. Kachaka, in his fish farming enterprise, here's an opportunity. You know, Martin Salanda, a youth, in his chicken business. Talk about people who want to talk solar irrigation, pumps, horticulture. Himbai, Victor,
and
is here.
And a man who can tell us to grow grapes, which we import.
Yes.
I'm told those grapes we can grow them.
We can grow them in the country.
To the same size.
To the same size.
He's been to my farm. He will tell you amazing things about how to do things.
Yes.
And I mean, I will be there, anti-poverty specialist.
Oh, Jehovah.
You know, for me, I will make you hate poverty. You know, I'll make you learn how to feel how poverty stinks.
Give us that advert. There are some people who are viewing this. Please don't let this moment go by. Listen to the two numbers that are given there, and immediately after this, we'll open up the text messages. I know some of you are saying, Pastor, you are not reading our text messages. Mr. Director, give us our last advert.
Conference on the 24th and 25th of September.
Time 08 hours to 16 hours.
Theme: Unlocking Zambia's potential through raising a generation of generational thinkers in agriculture and fish farming. Venue: Government Complex. Charges: 500 kwacha per person, lunch inclusive. Speakers: Engineer Bernard Chiwala, Dr. Collins Kachaka, Mr. Salanda, Dr. Joseph Mushalika, Mr. Victor Himbai, Mr. Gilbert Banda, Siabola Prosper Sievu, Dr. Lubinda Habazoka, Israel Kembo from Zimbabwe, and your host, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chiluba. Note: limited numbers allowed due to COVID-19 restrictions. Make your payments through MTN Mobile Money on 0962 382535 or Airtel Money on 0979 753010. For more information, you can call the same numbers. Hurry before you are left out.
Camnet TV viewers, remember, you live in Chazanga, Chivolia, Chinsali, Kwamatumbo, Kuchilubanama, wherever you are, you were born for greatness. And for that land which you've been walking on, you've been walking on money. And this conference will transform you. I just was taking the two books from Dr. Musharika here. Dead School, Liberate Our Children, and also Overcoming Delay, Unveiling the Secret. If, my goodness, come and buy these books. Let's read, let's know what is in there. This is a game changer. Let's take up the text messages, Mr. Director, before I'm accused of being biased. I'm enjoying this discussion very much. Watching from Lumwana. How I wish I could have attended this conference. Pastor, you are doing very fine because I've learned something from this discussion and my mindset will change. I know it has changed because you were born for greatness. Good evening, great program and great speakers. Kindly record the conference. Sell the DVDs to us who are unable to attend due to other pressing commitments. Deeds, not words. God bless you. This is Mizinga in Lusaka. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Good evening. Our dad, Pastor Chilua, Mr. Hambai, and Dr. Musharika. What a powerful program. It's time to act now. Not just theory. Zambia, we are great. This is a great nation. Your own children, Mr. and Mrs. Caleb Banda, watching from Livingston. Caleb, good to hear from you, Sonny. Evening, the men are talking serious business. That all Zambia need to do. That all Zambia need to do. Maxwell Lunda. May God bless you, Maxwell. Please give us back to back. Good evening, team. I am deeply touched as a recent graduate of agribusiness with the enormous potential the nation has for agricultural product. I feel much has to be done with the education system. That's a system that needs massive cleanup. Please, doctors, hello the Zambian community to change, or is it hello or allow? To change our traditional system. May God bless you, whoever you are. How are you, Pastor, and those two? I am enjoying the nice program. Truly, our national anthem song has a good message, but practically, things are not as good as what could be. Ernest from Chama. May the Lord bless you. Good evening, Pastor. I am enjoying listening to your program and really encouraged. May God bless you. Lucy from Monze. God bless you, Camnet TV. I believe that Zambia, we don't need donor fund, but we need mindset transformation. No amount of donation will ever make Zambia prosper. What we need is to revisit school curriculum and make it more practical. Christian Mwansa from Kasama. Wow. No amount of donor fund will change this nation. Good discussion panel. Imagine this scenario. DRC nationals smelling meal from Zambia. Government sends a battalion of national service officers armed to the teeth to stop the
smuggling.
Smuggling,
yeah.
Okay. To the point of even killing. Shouldn't this have been considered a red market? and
They're
good
good
revenue
revenue. Yeah.
to the Zambian economy, and that is foreign exchange.
Yes, that's exactly.
Good evening, panelists. Any intentions of holding a conference in Southern Province? If so, when? Veronica in Monze. Veronica, we will come. Definitely these men will come. Good evening, Pastor Chiluba and the panel. You are a true man of God. For you to consider remote areas of Zambia like Mpongwe means you really love Zambia. Remain permanently blessed.
Amen.
May God richly bless you and keep you. Good evening, Pastor. God bless you for this wonderful program. I want to know how you are going to assist the farmers from rural areas. J. Taka from Kenyema. Where is this?
Kaoma area, Western.
Okay, this will be our last we discuss with the panel. Okay, evening, Pastor. These are great men. They have really transformed my mind. I'm never the same. Value system. Very important indeed. There is no government system designed for our personal future or failure. This is Nyangu JJ from Mpongwe. Have you heard some of the thoughts that have come?
Yes, yes. Great.
Great minds.
Yes.
Great minds. Esh, I'm lost. I'm lost. When I say I'm lost, Doctor, I don't even know where to begin now, where to go, because you see, Zambia is too vast.
Yeah, for sure.
There are people like you are saying this Ikenge,
Kayema,
Yes.
which is just the district between, actually it's a split of Kaoma.
Kaoma.
Yeah.
Mumbwa Kaoma.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They are crying for the conference.
Yeah.
And somebody here in Lusaka, sitting here,
Next door.
next
To the
door.
conference room.
May God bless this great nation. What will you say, Doctor? What are your last words to the people that are to attend this conference and those who are procrastinating? I like what Sandala said. He said, you know, Pastor, procrastination is the fertilizer for problems.
Yes, yes, yes.
When you procrastinate, instead of acting,
You are growing the.
your problems.
Exactly.
What are your last words?
The last word, Pastor. First of all, to thank the people that have been viewing the program, and more especially those that have taken time to consider coming to this conference. But I want to say, first of all, to those that are still doubting. You know, usually in life, people love to give the same excuses that keep them the same. You know, you love to give the same excuse. I can't attend because I'm attending memorial. I can't attend because there's a kitchen party. I can't attend because I'm the only one who remains home. Like, you know, you have the same excuses. You know, it's like you are enslaved and the door of liberty opens. You still say, because I'm here, I can't come out. You know, so I just want to say to someone, look, you need to make up your mind.
Amen.
You know, you need to make up your mind. And particularly for those who are of Christian persuasion, there is a place for prayer and a place for action. God will not move to a place where there is still enough capacity for you to move yourself. So you need to know that there has to come a time when you make a decision to make a move. And this could be that time. For those that have already made up their minds, I really look forward to meeting you. I want to say personally, in all my life, from the time I learned to know people, there's one man I wanted to meet, and his name was Dr. Miles Munro.
Philosopher.
I used to enjoy listening
Philosopher.
to this man.
May he so rest in
I
peace.
believed in what he talked about. Then one day when I was still a teacher, I read an advert at Bookworld. Dr. Miles Munro will be in Zambia. He will be speaking at Sunset Stadium at 19 hours. I had no car, and I was living in Berkeley, and I didn't have the 120 kwacha to pay at that time, 20 something. I didn't have that. But I said, look, Dr. Munro is coming to Zambia. I can't miss this. This has been my dream. With that push, with that talking, whoever I met, I kept telling them, Munro is coming. Munro. And some were asking me, but who is Munro? The evening of the meeting, I started walking to Sunset Stadium.
Oh, really?
Then I met someone who asked me, are you the one who was talking about Dr. Lawrence Munro? I said, yes, I am. By the way, that's where I'm going. I decided to go. Can I give you a lift?
Really?
And we are getting to the gate. This person tells me, bro, if it wasn't you, I wasn't going to come. Can I pay for it?
Really?
You see?
Then I learned something. If I had sat home and wished I had money.
You were not going to attend.
So I have learned something in life. When you know where you are going, the universe conspires to open the doors.
Oh, Jehovah.
So someone listening out there, first things first, make up your mind to attend this conference. And start off to the conference. The 500 kwacha is there in your family. It is there in your community. It is there in some asset that is lying idle and is paying you nothing. It is time to dispose of what holds you back, that you may make a move to what is waiting for you. So looking forward to meeting you, and I can guarantee you that you will never ever walk out of that place the same.
Oh, Jehovah.
See you on Thursday.
Oh, Jehovah. Hey, this is a preview of the conference. Mr. Ambai, what are your last words to our Camnet TV viewers, those that are procrastinating? Should I go or I keep the 500 kwacha?
Thanks very much. I would like to really thank you, viewers all over, wherever you are viewing us from. The thing that I want to say is that you have a one house which is packed with all the goodies in this conference that we are going to attend. Attending this conference will be a very special and peculiar privilege for you, because if you miss, the things that you are going to miss will be irrecoverable. Actually, you won't recover from what you have missed in this conference.
Absolutely.
Simply because you are going to see the opportunities which are integrated, and then together they are there to make you a very successful person in business. These are rare opportunities which you should never think about missing. Let's meet there. Personally, I'll be happy to see you there and shake hands with you.
Hallelujah.
Thanks.
One more can I say? Team Camnet, wherever you are, remember this. You were born for greatness. And delay, actually, can frustrate your future. I haven't read this book by Dr. Musharika, Overcoming Delay, but just the title itself is telling me something, unveiling the secret. All these books, you come and buy them. And again, I like what you said, that if you don't know where you are going, or if you know where you are going, what did you say? Put it correctly.
The universe conspires to support you.
May God richly bless Camnet TV viewers. Tomorrow night, I have Dr. Kachaka, I have Engineer Chwala, to also come and give you the preview. But remember, tomorrow night, you can't come and pay, because the preparations for lunch with the speakers, we are closing it tomorrow. By daytime, that advert you are seeing, it won't be there, because it will be irrelevant. You will have missed the opportunity of your lifetime. I've been your host in the studio with my two guests that are speakers. Immediately after this, we'll give you the last advert, and then we get into the news. This has been National Matters. Keep watching Camnet TV, because Camnet TV is not just another channel. Bye-bye.